Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be when you stop doing things for the narcissist. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So when you were in that relationship with the person who turned out to be a narcissist, I can assure you, you were doing things for them. But you were probably doing things because you wanted to, because you're probably an empath or a kind, loving, stable, healthy person who wasn't keeping score of who did what in the relationship. Now, your relationship may have been a friendship, it may have been a sibling or mom, dad, romantic relationship, colleague, coworker, neighbor, person in community and or hobby group you are and or were a part of. Whoever the narcissist was, they were looking to take more from you than they were willing to give you. Now, having said that, they will tell you that they will be there for you, or they'll tell you they'll meet you at a certain time and that you can work on this project, or you can do this, etc., whatever it would be. But usually the narcissist wants to get you caught up and trapped in that narcissistic fog. So they will sell you a bill of goods and tell you that they're going to do A, B, and C, and they'll deliver on virtually nothing. That's why these relationships usually move quickly. They usually move at light speed. And you were targeted, and you were looked at as the new shiny object. You were looked at as a clean slate for them, who they could glom onto and assimilate with, and could then get you tricked and trapped into entering a relationship with them and staying stuck in that low vibrational state where they exist, which is the narcissistic fog. But when you stopped doing things for them, that may have been when the relationship ended. Now, again, these relationships, they end on a dime. They usually come out of left field. It's usually after a long period of time of experiencing toxicity, such as gaslighting, the smear campaign, triangulation, projection, mirroring, ghosting, being hung up on, being invalidated, financial abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, spiritual abuse, verbal abuse. These are all the traits of the narcissist. It's all the toxicity that they have within them. It's all of the negative energy that runs within their veins. They want a person to be consuming and or believing in what they're selling that person, and then they want to steal that person's beautiful, bright, shining light. Just like the sun right there, that's you. You shine higher than the sun, the moon, and the stars. And that's why you're on the channel. That's why you're in the community. That's why you're getting your cup full, or you're paying it forward, or getting topped up. Because there was a pivotal point in time when you were either in that relationship or post-relationship when you stopped helping the narcissist. You stopped doing things for them. Now let's go back in time again when you were in the relationship. Let's say that you lived together. Well, maybe you were paying the bills. Maybe you were in charge of going grocery shopping. Maybe you were in charge of planning vacations and barbecues and everything. Well, what did the narcissist do? They wouldn't lift a finger to help you usually, but then they would swoop in there, right, when you're going to yell surprise to somebody's birthday party that you threw a surprise birthday party for, and they would take credit or act like they did it, or at least not give you credit for doing it. And these are examples, or that's an example of something that perhaps you may have done for the narcissist. You see, your role when you're in that relationship, whether you knew it or not, it was to make them feel good. It was to regulate them, maybe be the arm candy for them. It was the person who was supposed to be the sounding board. You were supposed to be the unpaid helper, the walking apology, the cook, the cleaner, the chauffeur, the pool person, the person who raised the kids, the person who was always there at the drop of a hat for the narcissist. You did so many things for them that a list of a 100-page notebook, you could fill up probably 50 of those things. Now, why I'm saying that is because when you really zoom out from the relationship and you realize everything you did for that person, I mean every single thing. And what did they do for you? They dumped all their toxicity into you. They dumped all their negativity into you. They had you doubting yourself. They had you believing that they knew more and that they were more intelligent, etc. Because this is what the narcissist does. They are a master manipulator, and they want to get people as close to them as possible, specifically empaths, if you will. And they want to target these people so they can control them. They can control who they spend time with, who they communicate with, who they don't communicate with, what kind of money goes back into the bank account of the narcissist. The narcissist wants full control over everything if they can get it. And they will not let any control go back to the target until that person does what? That's right, until that person goes no contact and blocks them, deletes them, etc. Now, it's not as easy as that, but I will share with you before I get back to the thumbnail that the further you get away from the narcissist, the stronger you will get. The stronger you will get, the more clear your mind will get. The clearer your mind will get, the more you will understand that you were manipulated and tricked and trapped. And the more you realize that, the smaller the narcissist will get. And the smaller they get, the stronger you get and the more you heal. And you begin to really wrap your head around what had taken place in that relationship. That relationship wasn't what you wanted it to be. It was what it really was, which was the narcissist steering the ship of that boat that you were on in turbulent waters in the ocean with them, eventually looking to jump off of that boat, jettison themselves and go onto a new boat, i.e. the new supply. And so your boat would be stuck in the water without any direction. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to steal everything from you. And when you stop doing things for them, when you were in that relationship, let's say that example, you put up a boundary and you said, you know what, I'm not going to wait for you for 2 hours for dinner on a Friday night at 5 o'clock because you keep telling me you're coming home and you don't. Let's say you put up that boundary. Well, what would happen? Well, the narcissist would be there at 4:45 saying, I'm here, what's the problem? Where are you? What are you doing? And see, then you would say, wait, they were on time? What's going on here? Well, that was just to lure you back in, to give you a little breadcrumb of hope that next Friday they would be there at 5 o'clock. But of course, they wouldn't be there. You see, they wanted to keep you trapped. They wanted to keep you thinking about them. And when you stopped doing things for them, or you put up a boundary when you were in that relationship, usually there was a big price to pay. A big price to pay. Maybe not then, maybe that night, maybe the next day, maybe in a week. But the narcissist has a memory like a steel trap when they want to use something to weaponize it against somebody. Now flip it. If you called the narcissist out and said, hey, remember what you said last week? That you didn't think ABC? Well, they would deny it. They would claim that they never said that, or you're crazy, or you don't know what you're talking about. You see, everything in the narcissist's tiny little brain, it benefits them. So that's why talking to one of these beautiful pine trees behind me will serve you so much better than talking to the toxic narcissist, because these beautiful pine trees behind me will absorb your energy, and you could actually give one of the trees a hug and feel a real live species or piece of Mother Nature that is going to embrace you back. With the narcissist, when you try to give them a hug, it would be like a wet noodle, or it'd be rigid, or it would be there's no effort or nothing in it, or maybe they would pull back. And when you're talking to the narcissist, what do they want to do? They want to throw word salad at you, or gaslight you, or blame you, or hang up the phone on you, or slam the door behind you or behind themselves, etc. That's why you never make progress in these relationships. So that's why the narcissistic relationship will never improve. They only deteriorate more and more over time. And the longer you're in these relationships, the more toxicity you experience and endure, and the more healing you have to go through. Not all the time, but many times. Now, having said that, think about this. When the relationship was over, and let's say that it ended recently or not too long ago, what did you have to start doing? You had to stop helping the narcissist. You had to stop doing things for them. Example, maybe they shared an Amazon account with you. Maybe you gave them a credit card. Maybe your name was on their car insurance and you were paying that. Maybe your name was on the phone bill or the cable company, etc. You had to cut those ties. And those ties are included. One of the 4 ties they had to cut right there was the financial tie. But these are examples of things I'm mentioning to you. You see, when you stop doing things for the narcissist, then what do they have to do? Well, then they have to find another supply to do the same things you're doing for them. And what happens when you stop helping the narcissist out? That's when you begin to understand that your energy returns, your finances return, your health returns, your clarity returns, and all these other things return. They don't happen overnight, they happen over time. That's why I suggest virtually in every video I create to go no contact, etc. But when you stop doing things for the narcissist, slowly they will realize that you're not doing what you used to do. And I can give you illustrations with texting in a moment. When you pull back, they can't get to you the way they used to get to you. They can't control you. They're not getting an emotional response. They're not getting all the information that they want from you. And that's called choking them out, meaning you're drowning them out. You're becoming unavailable. You're not sharing information with them. You're becoming boring. You're essentially using gray rock. When you do that, that's a good thing. And when that happens, these people have elsewhere to go to. They can't stay trying to get to you any longer, specifically when you've gone no contact and you stop doing things for them. So again, let's use texting for an example. Let's say that when you were in the relationship and you were texting back and forth, well, they would ask you a couple questions and you would give them a monologue. You give them 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs of what you were doing, and you're expecting a monologue back. Well, in the beginning of that relationship, you probably did get a couple paragraphs. But as that relationship progressed, you would be texting them more and more. They would be texting you less and less. They would be controlling the conversation, the narrative, where you were, what you were doing, who you're with, etc. And then when you figured out that they were the narcissist or a toxic person, I'm fast forwarding here, that's when you utilize gray rock and you pull back a little bit. So using this example, let's say it's your adult child who's in their 30s or 40s and they're still trying to get money from you. You're the parent. And when you realize that your adult child, all they're doing is trying to use you as an ATM, despite the fact that you sent them through university and you've done an awful lot for them financially and growing, raising them up, etc. But when you realize they're trying to just take money from you, i.e. the toxic narcissist, energy, blood-sucking, parasitical vampire using you as an ATM, maybe you use gray rock. Maybe you said, I can't do that, can't help you, I don't have any money, etc. Well, what would happen? That using that example, the narcissist, probably your adult son or daughter, would pull back a little bit. They would regroup, try to figure out a different way to approach you, maybe claim that they don't have money for rent this month, or they just got a flat tire that has to be fixed, etc. And maybe you would have taken the bait. But after time, after you kept on helping that person out, then you realize, wait, they never ask me about me. They're not seeing how I'm doing. They're not calling me to do anything other than to ask me for money, etc. They have to go. These are examples of when you stop doing things for the narcissist. And when you using that as an example, when you stop doing that, I can assure you your bank account began to rise up again. It began to get filled with your money that was staying in your bank account. This is what the narcissist doesn't want. This is why the narcissist has so many people they surround themselves with, which include enablers, fly monkeys, people who are subservient or reliant upon the narcissist for a roof over their head or for a job, etc. You see, the narcissist preys upon the weak. They prey upon the vulnerable. They prey upon the people that aren't strong enough to break the trauma bond. They prey upon people who don't have the wisdom and don't have the education. This is what the narcissist does. This is why the narcissist isolates people. Think about when you're in the relationship with the narcissist. Maybe you had your own apartment or you were living with roommates, whatever you were doing, but you were doing what you wanted to do. There was no pressure on you other than maybe paying some bills. Well, we all go through that. Well, then the narcissist saw you and they figured out what you could do for them. And maybe they said, hey, you know, we could move in together. Let's just move to this part of the country and we'll start fresh in a brand new town that we don't even know about. Well, you didn't know that they knew people in that town, and that you didn't realize that they were trying to get you 1,000 miles away from your infrastructure, which is your support system, your family, your network, your jobs, your hobbies, etc. And the next thing you know, you're moving with them 1,000 miles away, and they turn the money train off, and they slowly pull back from you, and you can't wrap your head around what happened. Well, what happened is they just isolated you, and now you don't have a support system. Now you have nobody to talk to, maybe on the phone or something, but now you don't know where you are. You can't get your bearings, and the only person that you're talking to is the one person that's trying to abuse you more and more and more, i.e. the narcissist. This is what they do. So when you finally get that message, using that example, and you packed up and you left, and maybe you moved another 1,000 miles back to where you're from, then you got clear. You're like, I needed to get out of there. I don't know what kind of relationship that was. I have no idea, but I needed to get out. Something was off, something was wrong. And then you typed something in the search engine, or somebody gave you a video, and you're like, yeah, that's it. That's what happened to me. It's a narcissist. It's narcissism. How could this be? I didn't know anything about this. Well, there's your first light bulb moment, and there's your first way to process things and put yourself back together. Remember, there are hundreds of millions of us who've gone through the cycle. Hundreds of millions. And over time, there are billions of us. We have put ourselves back together, or that's what we're doing. And one of the key things that we had to do along the healing path, and maybe even when we were in the relationship, is stop doing things for the narcissist. I will give you a different example right here. Let's say you are still married to the narcissist, or you just got divorced and you share custody of a child or children. Well, the old version of you would have still texted them and replied back to them and kept them up to date and pay bills for them and whatever you had to do. Well, now that you realize that you're either divorced or about to be, you don't owe them anything. You owe them absolutely nothing. And so if they try to text you and mini love bomb you and say, hey, can you just do A, B, and C for me, please? Help out, because I can't do it well. And they wouldn't say please, by the way. Now you just go gray rock, or you don't even respond, or you realize, can I do this for them? Yes. Should I do it for them? No. Do I want to do it? Absolutely not. Could they do it for themselves? Yes, they could. And if that answer, the last one, is legitimate and it's qualified, yes, they could, then let them do it. This is what you must do. You must understand your energy is priceless. Your time is invaluable. Your resources are yours. And the narcissist took advantage of you for quite a long period of time, which was the length of that relationship. And probably they still controlled you after the relationship for a period of time too, until you healed. until you figured out what you were up against, which is the narcissistic abusive cycle. And this is why the video is being created. It's when you stop doing things for the narcissist, then they can't use you as a supply source any longer. They can't use you as the ATM. They can't use you as the sounding board. They can't use you as a person to pay their bills or to be there for them, and that you shouldn't be there for them. Now that may be a tough pill to swallow because I don't know exactly which relationships you're considering right now, but what I will share is if you made it this far in the video, you understand that somebody in your life, in the past or present, was and or is zapping and stealing your energy. Maybe it's an energy vampire. Maybe it is the narcissist. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's one of your adult children. Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's a relative. Maybe it's a neighbor. I can't tell you who it is, but when you stop giving them attention, you stop feeding the beast, you stop explaining and defending to them, and you stop doing things for them, that's when your energy goes back into you. That's when your focus returns. That's when you don't have to stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning because you're dreading going to work the next day because you're going to see this toxic person. That's when you can take a class and teach a class and read a book and write a book, and you can really slow your life down and insulate and protect yourself. Because think about what I'm going to share with you. All of your energy, your mental energy, emotional energy, financial energy, physical and spiritual energy, when it's going to somebody who wants to knock you down for the count, which means when you're giving all your resources to somebody who does not care about you other than what you provide for them, all of that stuff is going out the window. All of your resources are going out the window. And before you knew what narcissism was, you had a reason, you had an excuse. You weren't taught this in school. I get it. I understand. I was there once. But now that you are getting the wisdom and you're applying the tools that are provided for you on the channel and in the community, you understand that you come first, second, and third, and you are the priority. And your energy and all your resources, if they're going to somebody who has disdain for you, who is jealous of you, who is envious of you, and who guilts you into doing things and blames you for not doing them or blames you for doing them and changes their mindset any which way the wind blows, basically a not stable person, that's not going to benefit you. What benefits you is calmness, serenity, abundance, peace, harmony, growth, fulfillment, direction, purpose. What fulfills you is all of the things that you want to do when you want to do them, if and when you want to do them. That's why post-relationship, when you stop doing things for the narcissist and you've healed properly, or you are healing and you're healing properly, that's when you really take a look back and you say to yourself, oh my gosh, I did so much for this person. I did everything I possibly could have, financially, emotionally, raising the kids, traveling, paying for vacations, everything you did. And did anyone ever say thank you for that? Probably not. Did the flying monkeys know that you were in a narcissistic relationship? Maybe. Did the enablers watch you and your life implode? Absolutely. Did everybody grab their popcorn, or a lot of people grab their popcorn after you got discarded and sit back and watch your life implode? Yes, many people did. Did anybody actually reach out and knock on your door post-relationship and say, hey, I heard some challenging things here. I want to make sure you're good. Do you want to grab a coffee? Not one person did that. Why? Because again, as I've shared in so many videos, the people that scatter post-relationship are either drinking the Kool-Aid of the smear campaign, they're either toxic themselves, or they don't want to be a target. Or the fourth category, I suppose, for this video would be they don't want to be involved because they have their own concerns going on and they would like to be there to help you out, but they can't. And that's a lot of people, the last group. But all those groups are real. So that's why when you find a real, legitimate, true empath, when you find somebody who's gone through the cycle and put themselves back together, and I'm referring to the narcissistic abusive cycle, when you find someone who's risen through the ashes like a phoenix and dusted themselves off by the bootstraps and ascended and elevated higher than the sun, the moon, and the stars, and become the educated empath, that is a very, extremely, very rare person. That person knows what they want. That person knows what they don't want. That person can identify and spot toxicity in a moment. That person will not be attacked by the narcissist and having the narcissist be successful any longer. Remember, the narcissist is all over the globe. They're everywhere. They're in your area, your community, your neighborhood, everywhere. The idea is, and the focus is, and the point is, once you figure out what narcissism is and you go through the cycle and you heal properly, these people should not be able to get to you. And the reason I'm saying that is because now you are the educated empath. You've done something most people can't even wrap their head around, which is beating the narcissistic abusive cycle. You've beaten the dark energy force. You've defeated the dark energy source. You've healed. You've had to rebuild, perhaps relocate. You've had to take a close look at your immediate family members. You've had to take a close look at your friends and at all past relationships. And it all started with one catalyst, and that catalyst was the narcissist. You see, this is the relationship you need to heal from. You can't just wave a magic wand or take a pill and tomorrow morning you wake up and you're as good as new. That will never happen. That's why the challenge is up for those of us who are strong enough and brave enough and full of enough fortitude and energy and commitment and resilience and direction to put ourselves back together. That is why few of us get the wisdom. That's why few of us apply the tools, and that's why few of us reach the pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference. But those things I just mentioned, that's what you're doing, you have done, or you are about to do, because you're one of the fortunate ones. You were in the cycle of abuse. You're out of it now. You're healing. You're slowing your life down, and you have purpose and direction. And you know that it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of time, but in your time, you will heal, because you are healing, because you're understanding how serious and debilitating these relationships are. And you're also understanding that no longer do you have to do anything for the narcissist. That is a good thing. Play that part of the video a few times. You no longer have to do anything for the narcissist. That's my hope, and that's my moonshot and my calling and my mission, that you understand you can do whatever you want to do. But what you shouldn't be doing, once you know what kind of relationship you were in and perhaps actually are in, which is a narcissistic relationship, you should not be doing anything to help these people out. You should be running for the hills, getting as far away from them as you can. Now, yes, before I close the video, you may say, well, that sounds easy, Andrew. It's not that easy. I understand. I get it. That's why if you can't make a move right now, you need to develop, create, and get ready to execute an exit plan. And when the time is right, get out of that relationship. Use any support system that you can rely on to get out and get in a safe environment, get in a safe space. And if you can't do that, utilize Grey Rock. Become dull and boring. Don't share information. Don't overshare information. And don't do what? That's right. Don't do anything for the narcissist. Stop doing things for the narcissist. These people look for people to do things for them. And that's what they want. That's what they need. Because the narcissist is lazy. They're a coward. They're a bully. There's no substance to them. What they want to do is keep people pinned down and trapped and stuck, with those people not thinking that there's any escape. There are many ways to escape these relationships, many, but it begins with one word: believe. You must believe in yourself. If not now, when? You need to believe in yourself as much as I believe in you. And I will say this, and I'm going to close the video. Many times that there are very dark days, and many times there are mornings you don't want to get out of bed, and many times you can't fall asleep, and many times you're not in a good headspace, ruminating, thinking about that. I understand all those things. That means there's work to be done. That means you're on the healing path. Continue to stay on the healing path. Continue to move forward each and every day, and leave the narcissist in the past and stop doing things for them if you have the ability to do that. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Remember this: when you were in the relationship, you were giving to a fault. You did everything possible under the sun to help that relationship, to help that person or those people, and you did it because you're a kind, loving person. You weren't keeping score. You weren't saying, I did this, you did that, you owe me. That's what the narcissist does. They're always keeping score. They're always in competition, and they will never, and I mean never, have a genuine or heartfelt thank you. I appreciate that. That was so nice of you. No, they're going to give you a nice little smug look or a smirk or a stare or a grin and be like, yeah, I got you to do that. What else can I get you to do? Oh, that's right. You still have money in your bank account. I'll figure out a way to get that money out of your bank account or into mine. This is what they think, and this is what they've always done. It's what they always will do. So realize when you stop doing things for the narcissist, what will happen is this: all of your resources and your energy and your effort and everything that makes you you, all of that will get turned back into you, which is a great thing. And the narcissist will need to find another fuel source, if they haven't already, to get someone to do what you were doing. But that other person, whatever they're going to get from them to do for them, they're not going to have your skill set. They're going to have a different skill set. And believe me when I tell you, their skill set won't even be as close to, it won't be even 1/1 millionth as good as your skill set. And the reason I'm saying that is because the best thing the narcissist ever had in their entire life was you. And they blew it like they blow every relationship. So focus on yourself. Control what you can control. Go no contact. Block these people. Stop doing things for the narcissist. Start focusing on yourself. Heal properly, and get to the pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference, where myself and so many people are standing, waiting for you to arrive. We are reaching our arms down for you, lifting you up, picking you up, getting you away from the toxicity, getting you out of that low vibrational state, and getting you where you always have belonged. You just didn't know it, which is the pinnacle of indifference. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.